Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/OnosaurusRex. Apologies for being slightly late. I realized as I was getting set and ready for the stream, I was getting all the thumbnails and everything, and I realized that I picked an Atlanta Braves game with the pitcher that takes forever, so I had to quickly swap that, but then I was trying to get the thumbnail, and I skipped it on accident. I had to restart the console. We're all good. My name is Sean. This is MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 2. Streaming it 4 or 5 nights a week, I should say. But we'll be streaming, trying to catch up on some days here. I think we're in an okay spot, but I think I want to try and get maybe one more day caught up, and then we'll be good. All right, we have 4 games for you today, as we always do. We're going to start with the Astros and the Mets. That was a wheel spin game. Orioles and the Rangers was a wheel spin game. Diamondbacks and Brewers was the wheel spin replacement game. That was the hand-picked game of Atlanta and Chicago, because those two teams are pretty tight in the races. And then we have probably the best game of the day, which is the Marlins and the Rockies, which is an unbelievably weird thing to say because both of those teams are kind of irrelevant, though the Marlins played well last season. The Rockies, yikes. Well, let's jump into our first game of the day, and we will start things off with the Astros and the Mets. My headset is loud. Real loud. All right. Got to look at the AL West standings here. Mariners are 31-26, a half game ahead of the Athletics, who are 30-26. Athletics currently tied with the Guardians at that record, 30-26, for the one and only wild card spot. Welcome to Citi Field, home of the Mets. Astros are 29-27. The Mets are 26-29. Again, if you take those first 6 games and you split it 3-3, you have a competitive Mets team at 29-26. It is wild to think about. But we also kind of saw that. We saw that with the Atlanta Braves. They started 0-7 and just could not overcome it. Sean Figgins leading things off for the Houston Astros. He is the third baseman. Kosuke Fukudome. Somebody put it really well in the chat, but I can't remember exactly what it was. Designated hitter, batting second, Matt Holliday in left. Fukudome is the designated hitter. I think I said that. Matt Holliday in left, Carlos Quentin in right, Billy Butler at first, Colby Rasmussen center, Omar Infante at second, John Hester at the catching position, Marco Scutaro is the shortstop. Huge day tomorrow. Who gets to go to the Super Bowl? It'll be decided. I will be honest, kind of forgot until I just thought about the fact that tomorrow is Sunday. Justin Verlander is 6-4 with a 3.69 ERA. Nice. 11 games, 31.2 innings pitched, 32, 9, and 32. That's incredible. Every hit has a strikeout. The 9 walks, kind of a wash, I would say. I do love that he has a 3.69 ERA. I wasn't necessarily saying nice because of the 69, but nice. But 3.69. That number make my brain go happy. All right, Houston going to lead things off here. Here is the wind and the pitch. That'll be rolled over to the second baseman. It'll be a 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out to start of the day. Update my notes here real quick. Oh, I see what I've done. And that pitch just misses outside. There we go. All right. Verlander going to give up another piece of contact. The shortstop can't come up with it. He had a good beat on it. It was going to be a single either. He like threw that right into the glove of the guy that was standing next to him, but it gave the full arm animation. So Verlander, 3 pitches, 2 pieces of contact. One of them was for an out, sure. This one probably should have been out number 2, but he's only gotten the ball like into the catcher's glove 1 out of 3 times that it was for a ball. Matt Holliday is 5th in the NL with batting in that batting average category. They will check over at first. He is safe, as he always is. Here's the righty. They're going to put a runner in motion. The throw down to second is late. So a nice job to get on to second by Fukudome. As the crowd chants overrated, the righty takes a ball low. Oh, I need to get rid of this tab real quick because that seems to sometimes suck up the memory. I unplugged my computer, not gonna work it. I was working on a spreadsheet for a while. Just trying to get all the stats and statistics for this stuff for Mascot Madness is taking a lot longer than I anticipated. 2-1. Runner on second. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's inside for a ball. Verlander nods his head. Readies the pitch, and here it comes. It's outside for a ball that'll walk him, so the steal becomes a little less important because he would have had a runner on second. Obviously, if you pick him off, it is what it is. Carlos Quentin batting .218, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs. Two on, 1 gone. No score here in the top of the first. The pitch is outside for a ball. Verlander having a little trouble finding the zone consistently. Lines and fires. That one's in the dirt. Catcher comes up with it. Nice block to keep it in front of him, or at least near him enough to where it's like, hey, you're not advancing on me. Again, it has to go straight back to the backstop or up to that first base side. Otherwise, the runners do hold. That is hit well right to the second baseman who underhand tosses it. Is that the difference? No. It was kind of a weird spin into like a underhand. You want to see it over. Just a little bit more zip on it. But it doesn't matter because they are able to get that runner at first. Houston credited with a hit. And we'll introduce you to the New York Mets starting lineup. Joe Mather is the center fielder. He'll lead off. Dustin Pedroia at second. Pablo Sandoval at third. Aubrey Huff at first. Hunter Pence in right. Lyle Overbay, the designated hitter. Connor Jackson in left. Ramon Castro is the catcher. And Ramon Santiago is the shortstop. I never got an offer, by the way, on those Griffey games. I was kind of hoping that something would show up. Still take a peek at it, I guess. Ooh, wait, hold on. Did I get... No. Daniel Hudson is a righty, 6-4 with a 3.82 ERA. 11 games, 33 innings, 24, 11, and 34. He actually has more impressive numbers than Justin Verlander, specifically based on the fact that he has 35 hits and walks combined and 34 strikeouts. That's incredible. We might have a bit of a pitcher's duel here. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is in for a strike. 0-1. We are underway here in the bottom of the first. And a better start for this leadoff hitter. Actually taking a pitch. Here's the wind. And that is swung on and missed as well. 0-2. It's a nice location by the Houston pitcher. And then got him to be a little aggressive. Put those on the watch list. Ball misses. 1-2 the count now. That'll be rolled over to the third baseman. He'll come up with a strong throw across the diamond. And that is out. Number 1. Dustin Pedroia batting .290. 4 home runs, 9 RBI, 1 stolen base. Pedroia puts a swing on that. The shortstop able to come up with it. Is it going to get there in time? It does by about half a step. Nice job by the defender right there. And we have kind of a similar... That second out or second hit towards the infield goes to the shortstop. The Mets are unable to make the play in the top of the first. The Astros are able to make the play in the bottom of the first. To bring up Kung Fu Panda Pablo Sandoval. The wind and the pitch. That is outside. 1-0. That's fouled away. Red ball's foul. God, I wish this copy of Major League Baseball featuring King Griffey Jr. worked. That is inside for a ball. Two and one. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit. Ooh, past the diving first baseman. It'll be a single for Pablo Sandoval, and we'll keep this inning going. Aubrey Huff, 245 average, 2 home runs, 10 RBI. He'll step in with 1 on and 2 gone. That is looped into right field. It's just going to advance the runner 1 base. They'll play station to station. The throw is good, and Sandoval not, I'm sure, known for his speed. Which, honestly, sounds a little rude. That'll bring up future San Francisco Giant Hunter Pence, wearing number 9. He's definitely a number 8 guy. There was a fun post by the MLB, Instagram account or whatever that was like, hey, here's players wearing funky numbers that you don't recognize before. One of them was Felix Hernandez. I think he was 59 or something like that. It's like, no, he's not that number at all. He's 34, I think. Here's the wind and the pitch to Pence. It's low for a ball. Why can I never remember that? Felix Hernandez, I'm sure, was 34. But for whatever reason, I can't visualize it correctly. That gets the high outside corner for a strike. Yeah, 34. Mentally, it doesn't sound right or look right, but I see the picture and I'm like, yeah, I'm locked in on that backside. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is outside for a ball. Good take by Pence. We saw some of this really frustratingly again with the Tigers and the Athletics. Like a game that was so bad it put me in a bad mood. Just horrible swings at bad pitches. 2-2. 2 on with 2 outs here. Pence fouls that back. Nice job to stay alive. Shakes his head in approval. Here's the wind. And he takes a pitch on that low outside corner. Fouled the previous pitch off, but didn't take the swing. Thought he was maybe going to get ball 3. It'll be Butler, Rasmus, and Infante coming up for the Astros here in the top half of the second. I think what's a little more understandable about these pitchers is they have like high strikeout and low hit numbers. So like they're good pitchers, or they're performing well. Whereas especially with the Athletics yesterday, like the pitcher that they were facing from Detroit had a 10+ ERA. Was not pitching well at all. Like, your swings are just, you're too aggressive. That is hit into foul territory up the third base line. Looks like he's going to have room, but it might drift out of the way. He ran out of room. Kind of just kept going. And it's 1-1, so kind of a scary strike, but still a strike all the same. Verlander winds and fires. The 1-1's low. Gets past the catcher, but does not matter. That one missed low. Okay. Maybe we have things a little more tightened up today. That low inside corner to right-handed hitters was hideous yesterday. It was so generous to the pitcher. I'm surprised that that was a ball. We saw it so frequently. That's in for a strike. We saw it so frequently yesterday that it was just like, oh my goodness, you got to swing at this. You can't let this go. 3-2. Verlander winds and fires. It's hit out towards right field. Pence is there to make the catch. And there's a one away. Colby Rasmus stepping in. Lefty comes to the plate with nobody on and one out. Verlander readies and fires. That is a ball. Seemed like he got it into the right spot, but no such luck, I suppose. And it's 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is in for a strike. I don't know. Somehow both those calls feels wrong, but because they're both wrong, it balances out. Should be a 1-1 count, and that's exactly what it is. Oh wait, did I just get an offer for it? Oh no, recently viewed. Come on, give me an offer. Give me an offer I can't refuse on a 64 game I don't need. / already have. 1-2. Verlander readies, fires, and that is hit well, but driven foul.
No, that's foul.
That's foul. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fouled away. He'll stay alive. Verlander is ready and lets it rip. It is swung on and missed. Strike 3. For out number 2. Pitch just off the outside edge. A running fastball at 95. Timing just early, but he also kind of had it under the bat there and could not come up with just a piece of it to stay alive. Omar Infante. Here comes the pitch with 2 outs. It is hit back up the middle. The second baseman scoops it and fires in time for out number 3. Weak contact leads to out number 3, and that will retire the side quickly. No score here in New York. Overbay, Jackson, and Castro, the 6, 7, 8 hitters, coming up for the Mets. Lyle Overbay, 2 home runs, 9 RBI with a 246 average. And the man who has to sneeze. They're going to give him the strike on the inside. Here is the wind and the pitch, hit well but driven foul, just like the Astros in the top half of the inning. Kind of right in that same area. I am not a robot. Thank you, though, for asking. That'll be rolled foul at the third baseline. No. Oh, they've updated, like, their thing. Oh, interesting. And that is hit out towards center field, but it will be caught for the out. Looks like everything is taken except those two seats. Oh, okay. All right, we got some options. Want to go to the opening day game for Spokane, but we'll see if it works out. It should be fine, like schedule-wise and everything. But let me throw my. Where's my little? Got it. Throw this up while I take care of my nose real quick. Here comes a 1-2 pitch following the foul ball. It is way inside to even the count up at 2-2. That ball is fouled away. And that's inside for a ball. Long at bat here. I believe we have a full count. We do indeed. Here comes payoff pitch with one gone. Pitcher nods his head in approval. Readies, winds, and fires it low, and it'll be ball four, so the Mets will work a walk and put a runner on. It'll be Jackson at first now. Ramon Castro, 254 average. Couple of home runs, 8 RBI. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is nicely located on that outside corner. Gets the strike call. 0-1. It's a good take, too. I mean, I was complaining a lot yesterday during that Athletics-Tigers game, but you're not going to do a whole lot with that. See if he gives you anything. Instead, he misses the zone. 1-1. Pitcher is ready. He'll wind and fire. It's going to be rolled right back to the pitcher, who starts the double play to second, over to first in time. That will retire the side. That was kind of a brutal animation if you're a Houston Astros fan. Hester, Scudero, and Figgins coming up for the Astros. No score. It's been a pitcher's duel. I mean, it was likely going to be a double play, but with how inconsistent this game can be, with how the second baseman or the shortstop starting the double plays, having it go to the pitcher feels a little extra brutal. Here's the wind of the pitch from Verlander. Goes up top. The left fielder just stopped. It looked like he stopped dead in his tracks. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is hit out towards left field. Again, makes the catch. Busy left fielder for the Mets today. Verlander's been pitching well. Both the pitchers actually have been pitching well. The offenses have been getting like pieces of contact here and there, but more often than not, it's been either weak grounders to the infield, or it's been routine plays for the outfield. 2 gone here in the top of the third. No score still. That will be rolled to the second baseman and right on cue. A weak grounder to the infield. Nice sliding stop. Not the weakest grounder to the second baseman, but Santiago, Mather, and Pedroia coming up. Ramon Santiago. Mets looking for a walk-off win here against the Astros. We'll see what they have in store. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's hit towards the shortstop. He comes up with it, fires in time for out number 1. All right, quickly 1 gone. You find folks have barely even gotten to... By the time it's showing to you, the at-bat's over for me. That was a very quick first out. Oh, did they say Mather? Is it more of a may rather than a meh? Righty winds and fires. Up the third baseline, foul. The 0-1 is ready. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Oh, and 2. That is a low. 1 and 2. Good take there with 2 strikes. You would think that it would look pretty easy, but especially with how that bottom of the zone's been called over the last couple of days, it's not quite as guaranteed a ball as you might think. That pitch stayed just a touch inside. I mean, the strike zone in yesterday's Tigers Athletics game was brutal. Here comes the 2-2. Maybe getting a little too cute here. This one's driven out towards right field, but the animation would lead us to believe that it will be just a routine out, and that's what it is. It is very weird that this game only has, full run speed or light jaunt. There's not much in between there. Righty winds and fires. That one's low for a ball. 1-0. That is high and inside for a ball. Here comes the 2-0. And gets that outside edge for strike 1. Mets are an interesting team to look at. I might take a look at their schedule and see where they are as that pitch misses. How far back are they? Especially if they can pick up a win here. Houston's in front of them. Can they drag some of these teams back? The biggest problem is that they're not going to have any divisional games left, and those are the teams that they would need to catch the most. Oh, that'll be hit right back up the middle into center field, so the winning run now on first base. The rare hit today. Though at least it's been a lot of contact outs and not ticky-tack strike outs. That's also a good example of that animation right there, or that replay, of kind of why that animation was a little brutal for, I think it was for the Mets that had that double play that started by the pitcher. Is that just weird when the game decides okay, the pitcher now is going to field it. One and 0-2 gone. That is low and outside. I wonder, we can take a pause here, just a quick pause. Pedroia has pretty good speed. So it'd be interesting to see how aggressive they are, especially with 2 outs. That's not going to do it. That'll be out towards center field. I didn't even get to finish the thought. How aggressive would the Mets have been? All right, so we will head to the top of the 4th. No score. 4 hits combined. 1 for the Astros. 3 for the Mets. The 2-3-4 hitters coming up. Kosuke Fukudome. He will lead off the top of the 4th against Verlander. Chicago Cub playing for the division rival. Whoa. That went through his arm. How is that not a hit by pitch? This is the 2nd time we've seen this. Oh, actually, it's not his... Oh, no, it went right through his hands. Never mind. Never mind. That should have been a hit by pitch. It, like, kind of glances the shoulder a little bit. But he just statues it. Top of the 4th. Here comes the 1-0. Fukudome punches that up the third baseline. Foul. And that'll be a strike, high and inside. Here comes the 1-2. That'll be rolled foul as well. And that's inside. Good take against Verlander. 2-2. Ooh, gets it by him. Fukudome swings on a pitch right on that outside edge, and that'll be out number 1. Matt Holliday worked a walk earlier in this game. He's batting .245. Does have a home run. See what he can do against Verlander. That's inside. Verlander's been pitching well. He's only given up the 1 hit so far, which was still, I think that was off the glove of the shortstop. It wasn't even like a certified, like, that was a hit into right field or up the middle or whatever. That's a strike. Oh, God, don't open up that low inside corner again. That did not look great. Yeah, it looked a little low to me, but I am just a commentator. As that goes up the third baseline, foul. Verlander winds and fires way outside. Started on that outside edge and just kept working its way away. Every day we keep going here, I get more and more excited about the MLB The Show 26. We got to try to bottle that energy as that pitch is swung on and missed way inside. Not sure why. 1,000 career strikeouts for Justin Verlander. Congratulations. I'm really not sure why he went for that swing. He'd thrown a pitch or 2 inside in this inning that weren't close to the strike zone. A little higher up. Just kind of got him. Jammed him. He got the swing and miss. And we're on to the next one. That guy takes a strike on the inside. Yeah, we got to bottle up our enthusiasm and energy for MLB The Show 26. Because once like August and September roll around, boy, have we played a lot of that game. Here's the wind. Fires and fouled away. That is hit. It's rolled over to the shortstop, who picks it up and fires over to first. And that will retire the top half of the fourth. We will head to the home half here in extras. Still no score. Huff, Pence, and Overbay coming up. 1 for 1 with a single. 253 average. Couple of home runs, 10 RBI. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on and missed. That is hit up the first base line. 0-2. That is a weakly hit. Wow, the second baseman dove past it. I don't think he needed to hit the dive. He might not have taken a great path to the ball, and maybe that's why he dove, but he was somehow perfectly in between, like, too late on the dive, or too early on the dive, so it like went under his arm, but if he stays on his feet, is he able to just kind of reach out and grab it? Pence with the opportunity to be a hero here in New York for the Mets. A runner on first and nobody out. Even if it's a productive out, getting him to second would be huge. That is going to get the job done, at least to move him to second. They'll take the big turn. Kind of a brutal turn, or a brutal bounce there for the Mets. He still gets in safely to third base, but it just clipped that little corner that sticks out into the foul territory. While Overbay, no outs. What can he do? He'll take a pitch inside. Wait, are there 245s on the Mets? Lyle Overbay, you weren't 45 as well? Justin Verlander's wearing 45. Yeah. Whoa, weird. Oh, Verlander's wearing 35. Maybe. Hold on. It's not like I have, I only have the YouTube footage right here in front of my face. Hold on, where is he? That is going to be hit into right field. That'll do it. The Mets win 1-0. Okay, yeah. Verlander definitely wears 35. My bad. That's on me. I apologize. Good job by Lyle Overbay. He comes up with the hit, and that will do it. 1-0 Mets in the fourth. And there's your ball game. Verlander, hey, look, number 35. Wow. 3.28 ERA, 33 hits, 35 strikeouts on the season. He only gives up the one hit in 4 innings, 3 strikeouts. Like I said earlier, it was like off the shortstop's glove. Very easily could have been a hit taken away as well. Mets knock out 6 hits to just get the 1 run. Verlander goes 7-4 after the win. Daniel Hudson falls to 6-5 following the loss. No home runs because there was only the 1 run scored. So there you go. We are underway here on the channel for June 8th, 2011. I believe. Yeah, that sounds right. Too late now. That's how it's all labeled. Let's see. So we'll take a quick peek at the standings. We did just look at them the other day. Where's the Mets? There they are. San Diego, Florida. Oh, they do have one more series. Okay. They got to make it count, though. They have 7 games against the Giants. And they get the Cubs, who are in front of them as well. The question is, how far back are they? 6 games back? Okay, I don't like those odds, but 3 games against the Marlins, if they stumble or if the Phillies falter at all. Oh boy, they're even further behind the Phillies. Never mind, we should just probably bury them, but hey, it was a fun game today. Red Sox beat the Angels 1-0. That's a help to the Seattle Mariners. White Sox knock out the Yankees 1-0. I don't think that's really that big of a deal for anybody. Nationals over the Phillies. That helps the Marlins, who we will see later tonight. And the Mets beat the Astros. Everything's 1-0 so far. We'll see if we keep the streak alive as we are going to watch the next game. Oh, I clicked on the wrong tab. Good for me. Orioles and Rangers. Rangers, and then the Brewers game is there. Okay. Let's jump into game number 2 that I obviously remembered. Dahoy. While the game's loading and I change the thumbnail, be sure to hit that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Helps the channel. Free and easy way to help the channel. Thanks everybody for watching today. As we welcome you to Texas. Baltimore is 2 games under 500 at 28-30. The Rangers fading fast in the American League West, 24-33. The Orioles having to contend with a very good New York Yankees team. They did lose today, and I do believe they might be in second place now. I've had so much of a focus on the Toronto Blue Jays, but Orioles, have they usurped them? The designated hitter, John J. Jingleheimer-Schmidt, will be leading things off. Luis Castillo, not that Luis Castillo, is at second base. Evan Longoria at third. Rick Ankiel in left. Derek Lee at first. Corey Hart in right. Miguel Montero is the catcher. Asdrubal Cabrera is the shortstop. Trevor Crow is the center fielder. This Baltimore Orioles lineup is tricky. 3 switch hitters, 3 lefties, 3 righties, evenly dispersed across all 3 kinds of hitters. So Colby Lewis might have a tough day ahead of him. 3-6 with a 5.16 ERA, 12 games, 29.2 innings pitched, 35, 14, and 32. Of the 3 pitcher stats that we've seen so far today, the hits to strikeouts ratio is very good. Only 3 more hits than strikeouts. It's 14 walks. Maybe you'd want to cut down just like a little bit, but it's not the worst. We've seen worse. Jacob Jingleheimer-Schmidt is his last name. That is a 1 pitch, 1 swing, and 1 out. 1 away quickly here. Baltimore is a team that we have to face a lot. I think we have 7 games against them this year in MLB The Show 26, or in the season of the show with the Mariners. 4 of them in Baltimore, and that team is a little different. They do have Pete Alonso, so that's kind of worrying. Check that. It's incredibly worrying. You're going to give Pete Alonso the Baltimore BS? Come on, man. We'll be excited about that. We'll be, we got March Mascot Madness coming up. We have MLB The Show 26. We'll do a big stream of that as I pitch sales upstairs for a ball. A big stream. Last one we did was like 11 hours, which was pretty cool. I hope to kind of hit that time again. It is swung on and missed. I have a couple of ideas what we can do for the stream. Did he swing? He did not. He appealed down to third. I should get like a pizza. Just like hang out. I do enjoy doing the longer event streams. Hopefully this season will be done by the time that rolls around, so we don't have to worry about it. is a hit into right field. Wasn't sure if it was going to drift away. He'll hit the bag at first to make the big turn. That's a nice throw in from right field, if I do say so myself, and that is... He's still safe, but he gets a little more accuracy on that ball. Something going on outside. Some kind of aircraft. Here's the right-handed pitcher, and he just missed. I thought that was a pretty good-looking pitch on the outside edge. Readies, winds, and fires. Misses low. That is a ball. 2-0 the count now. Runner in scoring position here in the top of the first. See if Baltimore can get him across. That one misses outside. Some great takes here. The first take, obviously, the best because it was the closest to the zone. The other two, still good, but a little easier. 3-0, hands off the controller. Does let that one slip inside for a strike. 3-1. Pitcher nods his head in approval. Readies and winds. Here's the pitch. It's low for ball 4. Works a 5-pitch walk without even taking the bat off his shoulder. Excellent patience there for Baltimore. That was low. It was low the whole way. So number 3 will take first. It'll bring up Ricky and Keel. 5 home runs, 20 RBIs. There is one out, and the Astros in the last game hit into a double play that kind of thwarted a threat there early in the game. They were never able to get anybody on after that, so. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It is high and inside for ball 2. If you're the Orioles pitcher, you got to let him throw a strike before you start swinging. He's only thrown 1 strike in his last 7 pitches, and it was in a 3-0 count where you're probably going to take the whole way. That's a big swing and a miss, but I do like it because the location wasn't terrible. Makes the count 2-1. Pitcher is ready and fires outside for a ball. And the 3-1 gets the outside again to fill up the count. Three and 2. Here comes the payoff pitch. Sets up outside. It's, hit under it. Catcher waves everybody off. Steps into foul territory and makes the grab 2 away. I mean, it is only 1 out, so that's a positive for the Orioles. I think you want, obviously, a little more solid contact on that. Maybe try and drive that and get that runner to third. That's a nice take there. The Orioles have all been working with a pretty solid amount of patience, as the Texas pitcher has struggled to find the zone. Here comes the 1-0. Oh, I kind of like the aggression. It was in a good spot, but that'll do it. None of the base runners are moving, but that's out number 3. Obviously, nothing matters, so. Kemp, Desmond, and I haven't introduced their lineup, my bad. Baltimore picks up 1 hit, works a walk, and it's 2 pretty brutal outs to retire the side. Matt Kemp is the center fielder, followed by Ian Desmond, the shortstop. Jay Bruce in right, Dan Ugla at second. Mike Napoleon Dynamite at the catching position. Milton Bradley in left. Adam LaRoche is the first baseman, designated hitter Brendan Bosch, and third baseman Ian Stewart. Scott Kazmir, 3-5 with a 5.0 ERA, 11 games. I got stuck on Kazmir, and then I was thinking about Rock the Casbah. It was a little bit of a disaster mentally, if I'm being honest. 5.0 ERA, 11 games, 27 innings, 29, 14, 26 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Matt Kemp steps in. He is ready to roll here for the bottom of the first. Baltimore threatened with a couple runners on and just left him out there. One pitch, one swing, one out into right field, and that will be out number 1. Ian Desmond's batting .250, a couple of home runs, 11 RBI. Readies and winds. Here's the pitch. It is outside for a ball. Lefty is ready and gets a foul pitch there. Or foul ball, excuse me. That's kind of a break because I think that was going to be ball 2. But instead, a little aggression benefits the Orioles. That's hit out to left field, but didn't get a whole lot under it. There is an out. Jay Bruce is batting .169, a couple of home runs, 8 RBI, 1 stolen base. Lefty-lefty matchup here, and he sails it just wide for ball number 1. Gets that high outside corner. One and one. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Lefty misses that one. High or inside, kind of doesn't matter. It's a little bit of both there. And that's inside for a strike. Nice location on that outside corner. Felt like he was actually in the zone rather than the pitcher or the umpire giving the pitcher the pitch. Looked like he got that low outside corner pretty perfectly. Like, that's where I aim like every single pitch. It's just corners. The lefty swings and misses on that one. Strikes him out, and that is out number 3. Just the one hit in the first inning total. It belonged to Baltimore. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for those Orioles. Corey Hart, .294 average, 4 home runs, 15 RBI, 6 stolen bases. The righty shakes the catcher off. Not what you want to see. That is a strike. So I guess he's kind of rewarded for his behavior. It's maybe the most embarrassing when it's like, oh, I don't want that pitch. I'm going to throw a ball instead. It's almost like the catcher knew what he wanted. That is hit to the shortstop. Charges it and makes the grab. And that will be out number 1. It really locked into whatever that obnoxious noise was. I don't know if it came through on the the stream, but there was like a clunk, 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 clunk. Like, excuse you? You're doing what now? That is in for a strike. Pitcher readies and fires a pretty... That looked hittable. It's 0-2. One gone here for Baltimore. Both games so far starting a little bit slow. That's a big old swing and a miss. That is a really nice pitch. It looked pretty competitive, and he had just kind of thrown one right toward that bottom of the zone. So he just kind of sticks it in that same kind of area and then just drops it off the table and swung on and missed. That is a... Oh God, it just looks like that zone, that portion of the zone is getting wide again, and it leads to a lot of not fun at-bats. As that is rolled over to third base. Picked cleanly and fired over to first in time. That will retire the side. We are quickly moving through this one. It's a no score heading to the bottom of the second. Just the one hit. Shout out to Dan Uglo. Yeah, just take the picture. See what he can do. The Rangers retired quickly in the top half of the bottom half of the first. Nice patience there, looking at a high pitch from the lefty. And does not get the call in that low inside corner to the righty. That is the exact spot where it has been very generous to the batters. Is that what I want? Yeah, there we go. You just have the megas. That misses low. Is the mega box any different than the... Ooh. 14 packs, 14 cards per pack. Okay, 14 and 14. That's a strike. Okay, hold on. Whoa. And it's 6 and 12. Okay. Should grab a couple of megas then. I'd like to grab a hobby box of the new tops. I still need my brain to like stay focused every once in a while instead of wandering and going like, hey, what if you looked up this one thing this exact second? Because if you don't, I will be annoying. Count is full. Pitcher winds and fires. Hit up the line foul. Another payoff pitch on the way. The lefty's ready. Ooh, ball four just outside that. That was a tight ball four. Good take there. Mike Napoleon Dynamite. I just ignored that I said his name completely incorrectly for my dumb little joke. He steps up with nobody out and a runner on. The first pitch brushes him back. Here comes the 1-0. It is a ball. Okay. Maybe getting squeezed here just a little bit. Some of these pitches have looked pretty good. But also the zone might have been so broken yesterday that... I don't know. I feel like I'm gaslighting myself here. There he throws it in a spot where the umpire has no choice but to call it a strike. Even though we did see the one that got called a ball last year. Everybody was confused. Batter, pitcher, catcher, commentators ripped up the first base line, but pulled foul. 2-2. That's inside, brushes him back. The crowd boos because they want to see some action. I don't blame them. 3-2. Another payoff pitch. This is the third or fourth of this inning already. And he'll slice it foul and spoil it to stay alive. Lefty swung on and missed. Nice pitch there right at the bottom of the zone. Mike Napoleon Dynamite will be set down on strikes. That's 1 out. They at no point moved the runner. Milton Bradley has 17 RBI with 8 home runs, a .273 average. Texas still without a hit here. They have the 1 base runner via the walk, for those of you just joining us. Bradley thought about it, a little surprised not to see an appeal down to the first base side. He does get the ball that's high and outside to make it a 1-0 count. And he thought about it again. Bradley, he's aggressive, but he's at least able to hold it back, and he's not in an 0-2 count. He's in a 2-0 count. Here comes the 2-0. It is rolled in front of the catcher. Only out possibility at first. He sails it. He sails it into right. The runner will head all the way to third. He just yeeted it. The speed of Milton Bradley looked like kind of a funky animation. Adam LaRoche. 245 batting average. An opportunity to take the lead here with 1 gone in the bottom of the second. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. It is a strike inside corner. 0-1. Lefty winds and fires. That one's low as well. That is fouled away. 1-2. Lefty winds and fires. That one's outside for a ball. Two and 2. 90 feet away from taking the lead. That is going to hit right back up the middle into center field. Do they send him to third? No, they will work station to station, but the throw that goes into right field ends up costing the Baltimore Orioles a little Baltimore BS here in Texas. And it's 1-0. Otherwise, that runner stays at second. You probably would end up with runners on the corners in this situation. But it'd be 2 outs. It's the call on the outside to make it 0-1. And he'll slice that into right or left field. So they would have scored anyway, and they'll get an RBI double here. Now Texas looking to open it up here a little bit and give themselves some extra insurance. A 2-run lead feels good, though we have seen 3-run leads not be safe. We saw the Mariners lead the other day almost evaporate in the final game of the evening. That was a 5-run lead, so maybe if you're Texas, hey, this is where you're aggressive. You see an aggressive swing there, fouled off, 0-1. But are you aggressive in this situation? Are you trying to pile on as many as possible? I think so. That is sliced foul. That is inside. Somehow brushes him back, but doesn't get him. The 1-2 is ready. Here's the pitch. Well outside to make it 2-2. Thought about swinging. Able to hold it back. That one rolls foul as well. Sorry? That's foul. Another full count pitch. We've seen a lot of payoff pitches here. And he gets the swing and the miss. That is just out number 2. So Kemp has an opportunity, still has an opportunity to drive in a couple of runs if he can get something into the grass. Runners will be freewheeling towards home with 2 gone. That is swung on and missed. Big strike there for Kemp. The lefty is ready. He'll wind it and fire it just outside for a ball. And that's outside for a ball as well. I don't know if he's trying to stay away from Matt Kemp in this situation or what's going on, but it's not really putting anything hittable up there. 2-1. That is going to be popped foul. Catcher has an opportunity to make the play. He does, and the Orioles will get out of it relatively unscathed. Only a couple of hits. They do get charged with an error. That's kind of the bummer of all of it. Texas still would have been able to come up with a run. But instead of a 1-0 deficit, it's 2-0. Thanks in part to the error. So Baltimore needs to do more than they've done all game. They have just 1 hit so far. That is a good start, taking a pitch like that outside. We can get 1-0. In for a strike. Ooh, okay. I don't know about that location, but hey, I guess they'll take it. 1-2 now. Nobody gone here. Obviously a ball because he's still at the dish. I was like, oh, what was that pitch? Was it a ball or a strike? And I remembered that it was a 2-strike count. Looks like he's trying to get that curveball or something with a little bit of downward movement changeup to just drop in and clip the top of that zone for strike 3. It just hasn't looked good coming out of the hand the last couple of pitches. Full count, payoff pitch. That is going to get hit into left field, inexcusably into left field. It is just a single, but the third baseman just kind of froze and stood there. Is that one of those red jumps that we would see now in MLB The Show? We do see that every once in a while where he turned the wrong way. I glanced at the YouTube feed. Instead of turning to his right and like watching it go by, he like moved to his left. He looked to his left and went, "Oh shoot, it's behind me." Buddy, please. You're a professional baseball player. A digital version of a professional baseball player. So a runner on. There's your bloop. Do the Orioles. I almost said does Orlando. Does Baltimore. Do they have the monster swing in them? Or do you want to try and get one more guy up? Or one more guy on before you get that home run? Apparently when I locked my phone, I put it into a deep slumber. Here's the wind of the pitch. It is sliced out towards left field. Does the left fielder have it? He does not. It's a home run. It's a 2-run blast. The most unceremonious 2-run blast that we've seen. Oh my goodness. With the way the runner stopped and held between first and second, I thought the left fielder was going to have it. But then I thought maybe it was just going to be off kind of the top part of the wall. So the Orioles get the blast that they're looking for. They get the hit. They follow it up with the long ball. 2-2 now. And he takes another pitch low. That's inside for a strike. I think he got that inside edge. 2-1. Tie game now. How big is that error? That's hit out towards right field. The right fielder makes the grab. Boy, that gets so scary. It is wild watching that happen because it's like a 90-10 split. Maybe even like 95-5. I'll give you 92-750. Catch to miss. It just every once in a while it just flips a coin on the back end and goes, no, they're not gonna make the catch. They're not gonna do it. And it is wild. For some reason I just had a gut that I was like, maybe this is one. But he made it. That is driven foul. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That is driven deep out to left field. Do they have another home run? It is gone! It's the second home run over that tall wall in left field. The Orioles they've taken the lead. It's 3-2 Baltimore. They said error be damned. A slider at 83 miles an hour. Perfect swing timing. And that, I believe, is the first time that we have seen the swing tracker on a home run. Interesting. So 3-2 now. That one stays upstairs for a ball, 1-0. That gets the outside edge for a strike. Doesn't say how many. Well, maybe I forget to read the description. 20 packs per box. That is a strike. It was what? 14 packs. Oops. No. Good. That is kind of a reach swing there. He'll drive this one out towards right field. This was the way it went last time. That one is the catch. They had the home run, then they had the out to right field, then they had the home run to left. Granted, there was a hit involved in the first, before the first home run. But they'll bring in Jeremy Acaro? Acaro, wow, okay. 18 games, 3-2 record, 1 save, 4.22 ERA, 21.1 innings pitched. And I was hoping that it was a little closer on the back end. What is that? 5-7? It is 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. So he'll come in and get a pretty generous strike right off the rip. But misses on that one wide. One and one. Looking for just one more out. See what Texas can do in the bottom of the third. That's hit well, but driven foul. Terrible. 1-2 is fouled away. Here's the wind and the pitch outside. 2-2. And swung on and missed. So he comes in, does his job. Gets the last out that they ask him to get. Baltimore scores 3 on 3 hits. Desmond, Bruce, and Ugla coming up to 2-3-4 hitters for Texas, looking to steal this game back. A 2-run lead wasn't safe. I mean, I talked about it a little bit in that bottom of the second inning. How aggressive does Texas want to be? They want to probably get all the runs. We've seen leads evaporate, either evaporate or get real tight, Seattle. And we saw that actually twice. We saw that in the Yankees game. It wasn't quite as tight as the Rays game, but both of those games went into the final half of an inning with the Mariners up large, and it started to get tight. Texas doesn't score any extra runs. And bing, bang, boom. 2 home runs from the Orioles in the top of the third, and it's 3-2 Baltimore. It's 2-0 here to start off, or to the leadoff batter. Lefty winds and fires. It's rolled over to the shortstop. He comes up with it cleanly and fires over to first in time for the out, 1 away. Jay Bruce is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, only batting 167. I thought it was maybe a more fearful portion of the lineup, but then I see that specific stat, and I'm like, ooh, that's not great. The lefty is ready. He fires a pitch badly inside. Almost gets him, but the hitter able to duck out of the way. Though that animation does kind of look like they duck into the way. It's very weird to look at from our angle. Here comes the 1-0. That misses low. Lefty winds and fires. Boy, he is trying to give this game right back to them at 3-0. Jeez. Can't have that. The 3-0. Here it comes. And it's a 4-pitch walk. So Texas puts the tying run aboard, the winning run to the plate. And they will smartly go to the bullpen, see what the righty can do here. Aaron Heilman, 16 games, a 2-0 record, 1 save. Heilman, 1.93 ERA, 18.2 innings pitched, 6 walks, 24 strikeouts. Good ratio there. 4-1 for those of you keeping track at home. Dan Ugla. That misses low and inside for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That is swung on and missed. 1-1. 1 on, 1 out. Baltimore leads by 1 here in the bottom of the third. Swung on and missed. I guess they picked a good time to go to the bullpen because this pitcher is really throwing this Rangers hitter off. The righty winds and fires. That one stays inside. Good take. Two and two. That is crushed, just foul. Oh, man. With the height of the wall out there in left field, I don't know that he actually would have been able to get it all the way out. It might not have had the height. The distance wouldn't surprise me if it was either like a home run distance or like just out, you know? But I think that height, it really died there. 2 and 2. That one stays high and creates a full count. Payoff pitch incoming. I don't think you send the run. I mean, maybe you send the runner here if you're Texas. I think maybe you absolutely should send the runner. Oh, he falls for the strike. The pitch inside gets him. Can't get a piece of it, and that is out number 2. That pitch was well off the plate. It hit the white of the batter's box rather than the white of the plate. Mike Napoleon Dynamite can be the hero with one swing. Here's the wind and the pitch inside for a ball. That is hit. Third baseman dives over the top of it. It'll move the runner to second. So the tying run now in scoring position. Mike Napoleon Dynamite comes through. So Milton Bradley steps up to the plate. This righty pitcher is looking for just one more out here. Gets the swing and the miss on the first pitch, 0-1. That one is going to be lifted to the shortstop, and that will do it. Baltimore scores 3 in the top of the third, and that is your ball game, 3-2. Orioles over the Rangers. So we have a walk-off in the first game, a 1-run game in this one. And that breaks the 1-0 streak that we had seen. There were a couple of games between the first one that we watched and this one, but John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt is the player of the game. He was 1 for 2 with that 2-run home run. Scott Kazmir improves to 6-3. Colby Lewis falls to 3-7. Aaron Heelman picks up his second save. Longoria's 5th, Jay's 8th. And it is a 3-2 final here in Houston. Nope, Texas. Well, Houston is in Texas, but it's not in Houston. It's in Texas. Arlington? Is that where they play? Actually, kind of curious about the Orioles' record in their schedule a little bit because they're sometimes not putting the pieces together when I'm looking at the schedule and things like of that nature. Let's go around the league real quick in the East. Now the Orioles have a game and a half advantage over the Blue Jays, who might not have played just yet, but they are still 5 games back. But they're 2.5 back with the Guardians' loss. If the Athletics lose, they can go 2 games back. Okay. The Orioles are playing interesting, potentially interesting baseball going down the stretch. What's the Baltimore? No, we're at the end. White Sox. Oh, they get the Blue Jays and just kind of can put some distance between them. The Royals, they could kind of drag down to themselves. Oh, they get Cleveland at the end of the season. Okay. All right. Sign me up for some of that, I guess. View of today's games. We will. Hold on. 1-0 Dodgers over the Reds. 1-0 the Pirates over the Padres. And then 6-3 Royals over the Blue Jays. Blue Jays season is sinking unbelievably quickly. Twins get the best of the Guardians 1-0. And then the Orioles top the Rangers 3-2. There's the game we were going to watch, except for that pitcher is awful. An awful viewing experience for all of us. So it'll be Diamondbacks and Brewers. We will watch that Braves-Cubs series tomorrow. See if that score pops real quick. Ooh, Cubs win. That's kind of, if you're looking for the chaos, that's kind of what you're looking for. You want that, you want the Cubs to drag the Braves back to them. But we need those custom schedules. We need the ability to have a lot more of the divisional matchups later in the season rather than stuffed at the front of the season. Let's get you set here for more baseball. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks 32-26 taking on the Milwaukee Brewers 27-30. The Brewers have been better over the last probably month or so, but their momentum I don't think has been able to hold. Well, I am getting you set up, getting the lineups read to you, and swapping the thumbnail. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell if you'd like to know or like to be notified when I post new videos. David DeJesus is the leadoff hitter, the right fielder, followed by Chipper Jones at third base, Joey Votto at first, Jason Bay in left, Curtis Granderson in center. Matt Wieters is the catcher, Brian Pena is the designated hitter, Freddie Sanchez is the second baseman. Jamie Carroll is the shortstop, and that is your Diamondback lineup. We watched all 4 of the games against them and the Pirates. I had a lot of fun with those. So we have been a little, we've been giving the Diamondbacks a lot of love. Matt Garza, 8-2 with a 2.41 ERA, 10 games, 33.2 innings pitched, 23-15 and 23. Really good hits. I mean, that's the hits to strikeouts is dead on, but that walk number a little high, especially compared to those numbers. Just 8 more strikeouts than walks. I don't think it's what you want. David DeJesus. He steps up, ready to get things going here in game number 3. We got probably the game of the day coming up next. It'll be the Marlins taking on the Rockies. It's been the last time that the Marlins Rockies was the best game happening in a given day. Probably never, I'd assume. 0-1 as that pitch is swung on and fouled. Thought about swinging the appeal down, and he did go. Hello, been a long day. The news has me bummed. I might not chat much, not a chipper mood. Hey, I totally get that. I appreciate you being here. I'm not thrilled with that stuff. It's bummer. It's upsetting. It's such fucking bullshit. Try to play it calmer here when we're doing the regular commentary stuff. We will. I want to provide a distraction. That's what I am here for right now. Chipper Jones stepping up. 303 average. But I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. If you don't chat, I totally understand that. Let the soothing sounds of my voice melt into your ears. I didn't really need to wink at the camera and click my mouth. Like, I didn't need to do that at all. We're losing it. We're falling apart here, okay? We're on day number 63 of this or whatever. The 1-0 to Chipper at the letters for a strike. Looks like that got a lot of the plate, but Chipper lets it go. That pitch misses inside. Ball 2. The soothing dulcet tones. The other day, so I was doing That's a Foul Ball. I went and did open mic the first night back in December. And the host of it knows my brother. My brother and my dad both do comedy. My dad's done comedy for my entire life. Yeah, it's just, everything just sucks. Most of the country is under snowstorm warning too. Like, god dang it. Like, that's hit to third base. Is he going to get the runner at second? Yes, it's a force down, but safe at first. It's funny because I went up, the comedian knows my dad, my brother do comedy, whatever. And I went up and I was like, hey, thanks for, giving me time on the mic or whatever. It was the first time I'd ever done. He's like, yeah, thanks for coming out, whatever. And he looks at, he goes, yeah, your voice cracks are really endearing. And without even trying, I just go, thank you. I'm like, man, that sucks. I couldn't have timed it better. I can't do the voice cracks like normally. It just happens. Thanks. So to hear the soothing dulcet tones is very nice. Everybody good weather-wise? We're good here in the inland Pacific Northwest. Two and oh. We had our big scare with all the flooding that happened last month. That's hit out to foul territory. He missed it. That's usually where we see the misses, is when they're chasing down the balls into foul territory. But then we do get the weird misses out in the outfield. That is going to be hit past a diving shortstop into left field. So the lack of out doesn't necessarily come back to bite them. He has a shot at it. Oh, no! Excellent framing here by the video game. Just tilt the camera down. Just like... But the shortstop injured. Ruben Tejada is the shortstop now after the injury. Jason Bay, he's batting .326, 6 home runs, 22 RBI, 2 stolen bases. So 2 on here. Would be just 1 on with 2 outs. And the Brewers were unable to turn that double play. This has a recipe for a disastrous hitting for the Milwaukee Brewers. But just because the game punishes you. It just goes, you don't get... No. You get 1 shot at a double play. Otherwise, we're going to let them score about 14 on you. 2 on, 1 gone. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is fouled away. That is inside for a ball. Three and 1 on the way, fouled away. Into the stands, and it's a payoff pitch upcoming. The righty is ready. And that is hit out towards left field. So, had they made the catch in foul territory, this would be out number 3. The runners will retreat to first and second. So we could do the thing where we kind of keep track of how many extra pitches is it, how many, what's the extra damage here. And it is Curtis Granderson. He's batting .301, 4 home runs, 7 RBI. So he'd have at least 4 solo home runs, which would take up 4 of the 7 RBI. Curtis Granderson may genuinely not have any RBIs that are not home runs. Usually the numbers are too extravagant. We see like 5 home runs, 20 RBI or whatever, but 4 and 7. Interesting. That is a foul ball up the first base side. 0-2, so 2 extra pitches so far. The wind and the pitch is going to be looped out towards left field. Does he have it? He doesn't! It's off the heel of his glove. He rolls around and it's going to be an RBI double. I thought that was going to be it. It just kind of hung up in the air. He maybe over-pursued it by, half a step? Kind of lunged for it, and instead of hitting him in the palm, it hits him in the wrist. It bounces away from him. The runner was... had run all the way around to third, and it forced the runner from third to go home. He didn't have an opportunity to go back. But Arizona comes up with 1 run, so 3 extra pitches, 1 run scored. And now there are 2 in scoring position. Foul ball. A foul ball that absolutely destroyed the frames. Well, you said you meant a wink and click at the camera. It's because you meant wink, click, tongue, finger guns. Oh, yeah. Is it like a bam? I winked at every one of those. Or is it all at once? There's the pitch low. So it'd be wink. I can't click without... Okay, don't do this motion at yourself. I'm just pointing. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is fouled away. So what was the count here? Can I get 2-2? Was it 2-1? It was. So 3-7-8. 3-7-8. Good. Excellent counting. 8 extra pitches. The 1 run has scored. It's a payoff pitch here with 2 gone. Technically a base open, but I don't think you really want this inning to go on much longer than it already has. It's fouled away. Oh, it's foul. It's foul. Thanks, man. The righty readies and fires. Swung on and missed. So about 10 extra pitches. They do score the extra run. Of course, if you can turn that double play earlier in the inning, you don't even get to that point. It's 1-0 Arizona on 3 hits. They do not charge Milwaukee with an error. As we have another team with a Baltimore Oriole leading off the lineup. It's Brian Roberts, the second baseman. Nigel Morgan in center. Jason Kubel in right. Luke Scott is at first. Vernon Wells in left field. Jack Cust is the designated hitter. David Freese at third. Ryan Hannigan behind the dish. Ruben Tejada is the shortstop following the injury. So that was a funky inning. That was a funky top of the first inning for the Brewers in like 3 different ways. One of them, natural. We don't see a lot of double plays turned sometimes. That makes sense. The injuries have been slightly more frequent, but still not super frequent. Though it is the second injury we've had in the last 2 days. So that's a little odd. And then the bobble, or the pop off the wrist. As we take a look at Brad Penny. 4-5, a 5.97 ERA. 11 games, 28.2 innings pitched. 39, 6, and 24. And there's your Arizona Diamondbacks defensive lineup. With an ERA like that, that's nearly 6. Good chunk of hits in just 28 innings. Maybe this is a chance for the Brewers to get back in this game quickly. Of course, we saw the Athletics falter with that yesterday. They have 3K subs. Set up payment options for chats. I believe 3K subs is the mark needed to do it. It is... I think it's 1,000 subs and watch time. is I think what the things are. Learn more about applying. I don't need to do it now, but I will do it. It's a goal of the year. I don't have to. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 valid hours of public watch time, or 10 million valid public shorts views in the last 90 days. Keep in mind that any public watch hours from shorts views in the shorts feed won't count towards 4,000 public watch hours threshold. Why not? What do I have? I can look at the analytics. Let's see. Can I look at content? Watch time? Content. I will work a walk there at least. You know what? It might be. I think it's easier to look at on the desktop. He's in safe. We're good. We're good. Or at least I know how to activate it. Or find it. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. That is slapped out towards center field. Running over, making the catch is the center fielder. Granderson? Yes. We're learning the lineups, everybody. Analytics. There we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Double play ends the inning as I get that checked. Brian Pena batting .226, no home run, 6 RBI, no stolen bases. Yeah, I wonder what valid watch hours. Boy, that feels like a. What am I trying to think? 1-0 here as we enter the top of the second. Subjective term in some cases. But we actually have the threshold cleared by quite a bit, which is good. I just need to buckle down and do it. One and one. I believe that would went to the backstop. That is past the diving third baseman. That pitch did go back to the backstop. Freddie Sanchez will step in. One on, nobody out here. And he'll take a swing at it, and that one's caught. Flipped to second, in time over to first. That is a double play that bails the third baseman out, who was not able to get to the previous ball that was hit towards him. That guy owes him a dinner. Jamie Carroll, 242 average, 0-6-0. That was the first batter of this inning, was 0-6-0. Home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. Funky. I mean, I'm sure that I have it, but it just feels like it's such an easy thing to just, like, deny someone. Like, we don't qualify these as valid. It's like, I don't know, what are you talking about? I would assume that you would not be able to watch, like, your own stuff. That would maybe throw things off a little bit, but I definitely haven't watched that much of my own stuff. Because theoretically, so it's what, 525,600 minutes in a year? Divided by 60? You can watch 8,760 hours of content in a year. That is in for a strike. There was an old YouTube channel I used to watch. They would run like their own videos through a thing that they called like their like TV. Like Funhouse TV or whatever. And it would just run the YouTube videos randomly into like a feed that would just broadcast live like 24 hours a day. And I like that idea, honestly. Because sometimes you want to watch like a specific person, but you don't want to pick. You make the choice for me. I'm tired of making decisions. I make decisions every day. What do I want to listen to? Do I download that? Do I do this? That's low for a ball. So we are in the bottom of the second. Milwaukee does a nice job to bounce back and put a goose egg on the board. They still trail 1-0 as that pitch is inside for a ball. Two and oh. And that is low. That's on the outside corner for a strike. So 3-1. That's a good take by the Brewers hitter there. That's maybe not the best swing in the world, but those batters do get very aggressive on the 3-1 counts. That'll make it 3-2. Pitcher winds and fires. The payoff pitch gets the swing and the miss. Went from 3-0 to 3-3 real quickly. That is outside. Oh, it's right on the edge. Very early on the swing timing, though, with the 93-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. Definitely don't want to leave that pitch in that location in the umpire's hands, so I can understand it. That's where you're kind of just hoping that, like, hopefully I get a piece of it as the bat comes through the zone. That'll be one gone for Vernon Wells. That is crushed out to left field. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Yes, it'll hit the base of the wall. And that'll bring up Jack Cust with a runner in scoring position. Go Mariners, an opportunity. Playing for from one Seattle team to a former Seattle team. Looking to tie this game up in the bottom of the second. That is thought about it, but no. The runner on. I just said that. That is fair up the first base line into the corner. That will tie the game, and Cust will be in with a one-out double, stand-up double. And we have a 1-1 ball game here, folks. David Freese, 278 with 2 home runs, 10 RBI. He'll put it to third base. Darn. Just needed that to go just a little bit more toward the foul line, or try to split those defenders. Out number 2, still a runner on second to work with, though. That's fouled away. Just a nice lucky bounce right there. Here comes the 0-1. That is going to be hit right back up the middle. That should score the go-ahead run. He's going to hit third and come in home. The throw is not in time. Not sure what was worse, though. Boy, they did not give the pitcher the animation on that one, huh? So a 2-out RBI single ties the game at 2, or gives the Brewers a lead, at 2-1. That is in for a strike, 0-1. So now the Diamondbacks find themselves down 1, heading into that top of the third, at least 1, if this pitcher can figure it out. How big is this game going to be for the Diamondbacks? They are just behind I have the thumbnails here. The Diamondbacks, hopefully this doesn't break everything. The Diamondbacks are 32-26. They are trailing the Rockies, who are 33-25. So this is a big opportunity for the Rockies. If they can watch the Brewers beat the second place team of the NL West and take care of a good team at home, that Rockies, depending on how that first Rockies-Marlins game goes, we might watch more than one. In for the strike. That is rolled foul up the third baseline. That is going to be hit towards right field, but the second baseman comes up with it. The throw is in time, so the Diamondbacks just give up the 2 runs, each team with 4 hits. It's going to be the 1-2-3 hitters for Arizona, looking to tie this game up or maybe swing it back in their favor. Oh, they're going with a bunt. Does he go forward with an 0-1 count? Just trying to get on base here. Here's a wind and the pitch, and he will just go for a straight swing. Oh, no. That is a rough out number 1. A failed bunt and just a bad pop-up. Chipper Jones ready for the pitch, and that is in for a strike at the knees. Readies and fires the 0-1, just misses outside for a ball, 1-1. That is crushed. Chipper Jones gets a hold of all of it and ties this game 2-2. Joey Votto now up. I mean, that first at-bat was so brutal by DeJesus. It was a bunt and then just such a bad piece of contact. It's a strike at the knees. So the Diamondbacks tie things up. Now, the second time in the last couple of games that we have seen the home team get ahead in the bottom of the second, you think, oh boy, they're 3 outs away from picking up a victory against a team that maybe they shouldn't beat. But then the opposition's able to come back and get the tying run, or in this case, the lead run. That's how it worked. It was 2 home runs. It's going to be off the foul pole. The Orioles did it in the last game. The Diamondbacks do it in this game. 2 home runs to swing a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 lead. Or a 3... I think it was 3-0 the last one. Either way. A couple of home runs, and it gives the Diamondbacks the lead. It did not go off the foul pole. That went all the way to the concourse is what I'm looking for. Jason Bay's 0 for 1. Pitch misses outside for a ball, 1-0. And that is going to be hit into left field. All of a sudden, the second time through the lineup has been... They figured something out. O's were trailing 2-0 going into the third. Thank you. They left a couple on. So yeah, it was a... Well, doesn't matter. The point is that the trailing team in the top of the third has been able to knock across 2 home runs to take the lead. Curtis Granderson up with 1 on and 1 out. That pitch well outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-1. Granderson knocks that out towards center field. Center fielder looks like he has it. The ball just does keep going. There's the miss. Oh, it's going to force the lead runner to go to third. But the runner... Granderson turned around to go back to first. What a near debacle on the base paths. The Diamondbacks are able to figure it out. And we saw that in... Oh, man. Jose Veros? 5 games, no record, 1 save, no ERA, 7.1 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts to just 2 walks. The Rangers second scored thanks to poor fielding, throwing the O's. Gotcha. Oh, because they yeeted it into right field. Arizona looking for a little insurance before heading into the bottom of the third inning. Working with a 3-2 lead. Runners on the corners. A near... Just some funky base running. Oh my goodness. That had the distance, but just foul. This is low and away. It's not what you're looking for from an arm you bring in from the bullpen. A 1-0, like kind of hanging curveball that's driven foul. That's inside. 3-1 the count now. I think that was going to be ball 4, but swung on a pitch on the outside. Not the worst decision with how funky that low outside corner has been. It's been very generous. Here's the pitch. Jams him. Hits it so hard it lost some frames in the game. We'll take a look at another payoff pitch. That is rolled foul up the third base line. And he will work the walk. So fought off some pitches there. And a guy who has 8 strikeouts to just 2 walks just issued his 3rd walk of the season, and not what you want. They went to the bullpen to get him to try and shut this down, limit the damage. Instead, puts another runner on. It'll be up. Brian Pena is coming up, 241 average. 1 for 1 on the day. That is fouled away. That's fouled away. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's low for a ball. And that'll be lifted into left foul territory on the left side. That's probably a good pitch to give up on. The double play is in order. I don't know how aggressive this team is going to want to be. I don't think they have the speed at third base. It might start to get kind of funky because if, they could tag up. Probably not a great idea, but I feel like we've seen worse ideas from this game. 2-2, 1 gone. Bases are packed. That's fouled away. He is just not able to get a hold of these pitches. They're fouling them off left and right. I guess that's the positive. You bring in this arm. He did give up the foul ball that was hit well. But obviously it was foul. So something in the timing has been thrown off a little bit. Like the Diamondbacks, like I was saying, they figured out something as this lineup is flipped over. It's the second time through. Against that starter, they were able to start getting a hold of some pitches and take a lead. A couple of solo home runs. But with runners on base, they aren't showing up. Freddie Sanchez has an opportunity to drive in 1, maybe 2, depending on how far out into the outfield he can get it. He picks up his first out. It's via a strikeout. Thought about swinging. They'll call a strike on the outside. Don't know if I agree with it. So it looked like it was maybe a little bit low. It's 0-1. Oh, that's going to get away. No one's going anywhere. It's not going to get far enough away. And I don't think that there is much or any speed really on third base. So a 1-1 pitch on the way, and it is looped out into right center field. That'll score 1. They will send another. That will score 2. And that will make it a 5-2 ball game. 2-out damage. 2 runs of 2-out damage here for the Diamondbacks. They leave another runner in scoring position on third, and they do have a runner on first. However, 3-run leads haven't necessarily been the safest number in this game lately. Count is 1-0. That is going to be lifted out towards left field. Does he have it? He does. They'll make the grab and stop the bleeding. It'll be 5-2 Arizona. For Morgan, Kubel, and Scott, the 2-3-4 hitters, I think that was the same portion of the lineup that came up for Texas in the last game, but they were not able to get it done. Niger Morgan. The Diamondbacks win here and a Rockies loss. We could have a tie atop the NL West, which is kind of wild considering that the Rockies have had a lot. They've had control of that division for the majority of the season, and none of the teams have really done a good job at taking advantage of the Rockies not being quite as strong as they were at the start of the season. will be rolled over to the shortstop. He'll pick it up cleanly. Off balance throw over to first is in time for out number 1. Jason Kubel steps up. That pitch misses inside for a ball, 1-0. Brewers are going to need a lot of offense. We know that the team ratings don't really matter in this game because they don't really seem to match up with how well the teams do or don't do. But the Brewers are one of the more unbalanced teams just as far as a ratings perspective is concerned, as far as good at pitching, not so good at hitting. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is a big old curveball that misses the zone low. That'll be hit well out into center field. It should just be a single. Kind of thought about making the big turn, but we'll get on base and at least keep things going. Keep the line moving. Not going to be able to score 3 runs on one hit with the bases empty. Let somebody else come up and be the hero. Just do your part. Get on base. Give your team a chance. And that is rolled up the middle past a diving second baseman. He's going to make the big turn at second. The center fielder is up with it to throw. That is so in time. I don't know why they even did it. I know you're trying to be aggressive, but being in scoring position is way better than an out. I did not get deep into center field at all, and Granderson has a good arm out there. So now they still need it. They had what they needed, and they would have advanced to third anyway. Oh, that's brutal. A 1-0 count now after just completely missing the catcher there. That sails outside for a ball, 2-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. That's going to get that inside edge for a strike. 2-1. Runner on second. That's a terrible out number 2. Fouled away. Just like that, the Milwaukee Brewers are down to their final strike, trailing by 3. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It is swung on and missed. Diamondbacks come up with a big come-from-behind victory. And depending on what happens in our next game, Marlins and Rockies, they could either be tied for the NL West lead, or they're just doing a good job keeping pace. Either way, I think the Diamondbacks benefit either way with this next game, because either they get the Marlins to kind of come back to them a little bit, because the Marlins, while they were out in front of the Phillies for a little bit, they've slipped and given the Phillies their lead back in the NL East. So either the Marlins slide back to them in the wild card, or the Rockies slide back to them in the NL West. Joey Votto 2 for 2 with a solo home run. It was his 6th of the season. Jones hit his 4th. Brad Penny improves to 5-5. Matt Garza falls to 8-3. Big 4-run third for the Diamondbacks. 5-2 your final from Milwaukee. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Free, easy ways to help the channel. I gotta get prepped to flip the thumbnail here. Let's catch up on some scores. I think we just have the one, and it's kind of what you're looking for if you want a little bit of chaos. Braves and Cubs each have 31 wins now after the Cubs win 2-1. And we're going to slide down here. So Diamondbacks are 33. Yeah, they'd be square. The Marlins would have the advantage just because they haven't played as many games. They have 3 fewer losses. Look like the Cardinals won 1-0 over the Giants. There's your pitching matchup for today's game. Might be the most interesting game of the season, or of the day, excuse me, just because of where things are standing. And we did get a little bit of help with that come from behind victory from the Diamondbacks. We do get a little bit of help making things a little bit tighter with the come from behind victory for the Orioles. What was the first game that we watched? I don't think that one really mattered. Astros and Mets. The Astros have been kind of an interesting piece of the puzzle, but I think they might be too far gone at this point. Well, welcome in to Colorado. The Rockies, 33-25. They will host the 33-23 Florida Marlins. So the Marlins must have a couple of lengthy stretches of games toward the end of the season. Let's get you set here. Mohamed Haney is going to lead off. He'll be the center fielder for the Marlins. Todd Helton is the designated hitter. Alex Rodriguez at third base, doing everything he can to have a great batting average, but watching Haney and Helton just falter in front of him and not really give him a whole lot to work with. Pat Burrell is in left field. Garrett Jones in right. Paul Konerko at first. Orlando Cabrera at shortstop. Jesus himself, Flowers, is behind the dish, and Danny Espinoza at second base. Getting you set for the pitching matchup, it's Aaron Harang. 4-6 with a 6.35 ERA, 11 games, 28.1 innings pitched, 47 hits, 12 walks, 11 strikeouts. Those numbers are disgusting. So far, for the most part, the walks to hits to strikeouts, those ratios that we talk about, aren't that bad. But giving up more walks than strikeouts and 47 hits, yeesh. Maybe that's just him getting Colorado'd? We'll see how he does today. Nice little color matchup. That purple and the green, though they are wearing white and gray, so more exciting on the scoreboard. And we didn't get a precious poop game this year, so that was unfortunate. First pitch is a ball, and we are underway here for game number 4. And that is in for a strike. It's that outside part that he was trying to hit the first time. Missed, but able to get it with the next pitch. Here's the wind, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Here comes the 2-1. That'll be sliced out towards center field. The center fielder does not have the ability to get there. It'll be a leadoff hit for Mohamed Haney. So this is what I was talking about. Haney, who I think is a new piece of the lineup. I forget who it was earlier in the season, but I think it's a different guy. It doesn't matter. Haney and Helton have really struggled. Those top 2 batters, they don't have the greatest batting averages, and when we watch them, they aren't great at staying on base for Alex Rodriguez. You're going to look at Alex Rodriguez's batting average as this is drilled. Oh, it's off the top of the wall. That's a home run in like 29-30 stadium. Why are you not picking up the ball? It's a run-scoring triple. And I guess, Sean, shut your mouth. He just stood there and watched it. I was going to say, you're going to look at Alex Rodriguez's numbers and you think, boy, he should have more RBIs. It's because Haney and Helton can't stay on base. Look at that 378 average. 8 home runs, 17 RBI. It should be more. But the first 2 batters in this lineup are not great at staying on base. Of course, Florida does a good job to jump out to a 1-0 lead, so what the hell am I talking about? That is in for a strike right at the bottom of the zone. 1-1. Good opportunity here for A-Rod, who jumps out of the way of the pitch inside. 2-1. And he will foul that one off.
Foul ball.
Foul ball. 2-2. That's outside. Good eye by A-Rod. 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. It is inside for a ball. So smart takes there on the last couple of pitches. Gives up the opportunity for an RBI, but puts himself on base. And now we have runners on the corner. Still nobody out here. It's Pat and Burrell. Burrell? You'd be familiar with this stadium being in the same division with the Rockies as a Giant. He'll take a ball upstairs, 1-0. That'll be rolled to the shortstop. He bobbles it. It'll be safe at second. Can he leg it out at first? No, he can't. But the run will score. It'll be 2-0 Florida. And an awful start for the Colorado Rockies. A bobbled ball is the last thing that you need in that situation. They won't be charged with an error because it's still still an out. Garrett Jones, there's a little bit of an example of what I was talking about earlier. I think it was Curtis Granderson. I forget exactly who it was, but 5 home runs, 22 RBIs. That's a big discrepancy where some of the other, it must have been Granderson. It was like 4 home runs, 7 RBIs like that. He might only have RBI via the home run. That'll be rolled to the third baseman. That is an out. Runner holds at second. I like that little step to it. Go get the ball. Paul Konerko is batting .342 with 8 home runs, 16 RBI, and a runner in scoring position to try and push this lead out just a little bit further early on. Little 2-out damage never hurt the offensive team. I was going to say, you can't, it would hurt somebody because the defense is going to be hurt, but you get it. Ooh, Gonzaga. That's a strike on the inside. Oh, they're dealing with that injury, the Zags are. They win by 2 over San Francisco. They say USF in the article as we look at out number 3. And I was like, they're playing the University of South Florida? Two runs on 2 hits. It was a fast start for the Florida Marlins. Let's get you introduced to the Colorado Rockies lineup. Center fielder Shane Victorino will lead things off. Stephen Drew is the shortstop. Torrey Hunter in right. Carlos Pena at first. Mark Reynolds at third. John Jaso is behind the dish. Juan Rivera in left field. Bill Hall at second. Michael Saunders, the designated hitter. Here's your pitcher for the Florida Marlins. It is Jared Weaver, 9-2 with a 3.16 ERA, 11 games, 31.1 innings pitched, 30, 13, and 25 hits, walks, and strikeouts. If you're a Marlins fan, or just the Marlins in general, probably feel pretty good having a guy who's 9-2 with a 3 ERA on the dish, giving him a 2, or on the rubber, not the dish, on the rubber, giving him a 2-run lead early in this one. Shane Victorino will get things started for us here in the bottom of the first. Already trailing 2-0. See if they can get off to a hot start like the Marlins did. Well, they try to with a first pitch swing. It'll be driven foul. 1-0. That is lifted into right field. I was curious if he was going to go for the dive. Sometimes we see that, and that's where it can get real wonky. But he lets it one hop. It was, hey, it's either going to be a single, but if you dive and miss it, Victorino could try to push things for a double. Steven Drew is up next, so leadoff hit for the Rockies. And that is fouled away. That's a good break for Colorado. That was not hit well. I think best case scenario, that's just a bad pop-up. But mercifully for them, it's foul. Here comes the pitch. They're going to put the runner in motion. He is safe. It is so hard to tell if the runners are going to be safe or out. The pitch was a little bit low, the ball a little high, and you can see that delay where it feels like the ball's going to get there in time. That's not on you. That's on the that's on them. You're fine. Fine. That is, oh my gosh, that is popped up. Jammed up a little bit. Florida no income tax. Basketball players want to play in Florida. Football players want to play in Florida. Baseball players do not want to play in Florida. Marlins and Rays are that trash. God. And the Florida Marlins have 2 effing championships. That'll be rolled to the... Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought he bobbled it. But they get 2 outs and they advance them to third. What would it take for players to want to go to the Marlins or the Rays? Would it be as simple as a change of ownership? Which you'll never get. Because at least like the Heat are like a respected organization. They've won titles. That's low for a ball. What about Orlando? People don't have like the disdain for Miami or Tampa Bay, football-wise. That is hit into center field. That'll score a run, cut the lead in half. It is now 2-1. I know, because like a lot of people talk about the Rays so quirkily, like the Rays are going to raid. It's like, okay, but it's just because they're cheap pieces of garbage. Probably spending habits, bigger contracts for better players, instead of always trading away talent. I was surprised. Is Sandy Alcantara still hanging out on the Marlins? Because I was surprised that he's still there. That is swung on and missed. Unless he got traded or moved. Now looks like he's still a Marlin. Swung on and missed. Yeah, current team Miami Marlins, number 22. But the Marlins played better at least. They finished third. They finished ahead of the Braves. Don't believe that's going to happen again. As that is hit to third, and the Rockies will cut into it. 2 hits to score 1 run. Cabrera, Flores, and Espinoza coming up for Florida. We're going to maybe try to get that run back. I think that's okay for Colorado. They picked up the 1 run. They don't have to get 2. And honestly, the Marlins didn't do that well after they scored the 1 run, or the second run from third. They got kind of shut down a little bit. That'll be upstairs for a ball, 1-0. That is 2-0. Try to go back to that spot and get a different call, but it didn't work. Ball upstairs. Here's the wind and the pitch. The 2-0 is pretty hittable location if you're asking me for a strike. But I think with the 2-0 count, it's fine to just kind of let that go. Or just buckled him. That one stays upstairs. Doesn't chase, makes it 3-1. Interesting to see how aggressive he gets. Again, that 3-1 count. Batters love swinging. He does not swing. He'll take the strike. Hasn't taken the bat off his shoulder yet. Still ahead in the count, 3-2. Here comes a payoff pitch. And that's low for a ball. So a 6-pitch walk and just stood there the whole time. So the Marlins put their leadoff runner aboard, or leadoff batter aboard for the second consecutive inning. Flores will step up. And that's maybe a little bit of a generous call to a guy who just didn't throw a lot of competitive pitches in the last at-bat. To give him that strike on the inside. Yikes. That's low. 1-1. One outside for ball 2. And that'll be lifted out towards right field, but plenty of room for the right fielder to make the catch. Good throw in. Not the runner on first was going to go anywhere, but maybe it makes you think twice about trying to advance to third when the ball gets to him. And he comes up throwing. A good first out for the Rockies pitching staff. That's outside for ball 1. Double play stays in order, though they weren't able to pick up the double play last time they had a shot at it. They'll put the runner in motion. The pitch. Oh. This game is so broken. Who was he tagging? Here comes the throw. It's a nice job to make sure it doesn't go into center field. And then just tagging a ghost, apparently. What in the world? What a beautiful game of baseball this is. Now, surprisingly, so we saw yesterday somebody got an out that they didn't tag with the glove, but the face mask was kind of going through. Here we have the arm going through the leg, but it's still called safe. So that's kind of odd. That it makes that out from yesterday even weirder. Boy, this game, what a gem. I can't wait to find out what quirks we get to discover in Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball coming fall 2026. Two and one. Marlins looking to get that second, or that 2-run lead back. I almost said that second run lead back. That doesn't make any sense. 3-1. Yes, phase shifting through the defense's legs is always the best way. You missed the phase out that we saw in Chicago, where the guy literally reached his arm through the wall and made the catch on the other side of the wall. But because the wall was so tall, his arm just went through it. And it was the next day after you had talked about a phase through or something like that. The timing was pretty solid. Could have been better, but pretty solid. You were the first person I thought. I was like, walk off. I don't know if they're here. So 2 on, just the 1 out that was out in right field. They get the steal down to second. There's the righty. Is foul ball. Two on, 1 gone, and does not get the call on the outside. Probably doesn't deserve like that, those extra wide calls, because he has been throwing a lot of balls. That is upstairs for a ball. Umpire maybe maybe a little extra tight. That's going to be hit into right field. I'm surprised he went for that pitch. They are going to play station to station, and that is a smart move because Torrey Hunter has a good arm out there. And we saw the throw in on the single where you're like, don't test him. Todd Helton is 1 for 1 with a triple that is more than likely a home run in a lot of ballparks. But that tall ball out in right got the better of him. He drove in a run. He'll get a 0-1 count after the pitch just gets that high inside corner. Marlins looking to really blow this game wide open. Takes a ball low. The righty winds and fires. It's fouled away. And that one's low for a ball. I wonder if he'll go back up high. It seems like he's kind of been high, low, high, low. Ooh, he stayed low. That's a good change of the rhythm for the Rockies pitcher there. I definitely would have been looking up high. Ooh, and he gets Helton to swing through it. Strike number 3. It will bring up Alex Rodriguez. 378 average, 8 home runs, 17 RBI. Worked a walk in his last plate appearance. And with the bases loaded, I mean, gonna have to throw some strikes. I don't think you want to walk in that run, but he'll take a ball for a 1-0 count. I mean, do you risk it against A-Rod and the average that he has? Or do you intentionally walk in the run? I mean, you throw it to him, but gets him to go on that 1-1. And he swung on in, missed way outside. And that is... Oh, it's the first baseman dove past it. It's going to score 2. He didn't seem like he needed a dive. Like, it was really not good. Alex Rodriguez will pick up a couple RBI. They just needed the first baseman to come up with a play to get out number 3. Keep this a 1-run deficit, but instead it extends out to a 3-run deficit. George Sherrill, 17 games, 3-2 record, 3 saves, 3.06 ERA, 17.2 innings pitched with 8 walks, 17 strikeouts. Give Pat Burrell an opportunity as there are runners on the corners. That is outside. Runners back in time. I don't think the catcher was going to throw it anywhere, but... That is low. 2-0. It is indeed 2-0. That is... There's no way they just called that a strike. No way. No. No way. They called a pitch that should have hit him in the knee. They called that a strike. Oh my goodness. It's the worst strike call of the season. And why does this game not hit batters more frequently? Right through the knee. My goodness.
Okay, let's play.
It should be a 3-0 count. Unbelievable. We'll push it up the middle past the diving shortstop. The runner will hit second and head to third. Thankfully, it does not affect the remainder of the game. Maybe even benefits him a little bit. Gets aggressive with the swing. Wow. Just an unbelievable strike. Marlins, extend the lead over the Rockies to 5-1. It's inside for a ball. Runner still on the corners. That's outside for a ball. 2-0. So this game would be just a little more exciting. It's actually 3-0, my bad. And that's in for a strike. Lefty readies, winds, fires. That is slapped out towards center field. I wanted to say slapped and smacked, but smacked, whatever. Florida scores a couple more runs. They score 3. They will take a 5-1 lead into the bottom half of the second. It'll be led off by John Jaso. He's batting .408, no home runs. Does have 8 RBI on the season. No stolen bases. Here's a wind and the pitch. It is hit. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Not the start that the Rockies were needing. They were able to put their leadoff batter on base last time, but yeesh. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out, and that'll be a ball 1-0. Weaver looking all right here so far. Shakes off his catcher. He better be right about the pitch he throws. Here it comes, and I think he gets the strike, so I guess not the worst. Here comes the 1-1. Inside for a ball. 2-1. Rockies need to do something. They did a good job. I like that they were at least able to come up with 1 run in the bottom of the first. They cut the lead in half. You don't always have to score exactly what they score. But you have to be consistent. And now they scored 3 in that second inning. You probably have to match that. 2, I think, at least to feel good. We have seen some funky things happen in the 3rd inning today specifically, but in recent memory as well. That is outside for ball 4. So a nice patient at bat. I don't think it... They cut off the organist. Do. Cut. You're done. One on, one out. Here's the wind and the pitch. Low for a ball. 1-0. They just need to keep the lineup moving. That's what Florida's been doing a good job at. They've been coming up with hits, keeping pressure on the defense. And Colorado's mistakes haven't really bitten them too badly. They had the bobble where they weren't able to take advantage of a double play opportunity, but they didn't score any runs after that. Florida's just a team that seems like they're playing hot. That is hit out towards left field. Oh, it is going to be, foul right off the top of the wall. Didn't have the distance to get out of the ballpark, but just a long strike. Here's the pitch. He's going to get under it, jams him a little bit, and that's sky high to the first baseman. There's out number 2. Moving up to Michael Saunders to keep this thing going. Go Mariners. I think with 2 outs, I think if you could score 1, that's inside for a ball. Here comes the righty and throws it low for a ball. Now, Weaver has already issued a walk, so it may be wise for the Rockies to try and take some pitches here. See if we can put a couple on. That's not terrible at all. Take a big swing at that. It does just advance the runner to second. Now play station to station. Saunders stayed with it and drove it to the opposite field. Shane Victorino 1 for 1 with a single and a stolen base. Here's the righty. And Victorino. Is that going to stay fair? That's a fair ball. No one had a play on it. It's a swinging bunt for Victorino, who legs it out to first. Wow. I was waiting for it to go foul, but because of where the catcher and the pitcher kind of were, especially the catcher blocking the ball directly. All right, Colorado's got to come away with something here. You can't load the bases and come away empty-handed. I know you have 2 outs to work. 2 outs are working against you. Tying runs at home plate doesn't have to be a grand slam. That's inside. Good patience. Gets ahead 2-0. That's low. 3-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. Inside, it walks in a run. Weaver walks in a run, and now the go-ahead run comes to the plate. The tying run is on first. 5-2. Oh, it's Torrey Hunter? Oh, that sounds bad for the Marlins. I think you still need to come away with just a little bit more here. Hunter with a big swing. You gotta hold the bat back. That was likely going to be ball number 1, and he just issued an easy free pass. Weaver sets and fires. Hunter pushes that one foul. Hunter is ready to be the hero.
That's a foul ball.
Foul ball. He wants to drive these runs in. He wants to swing the lead in his favor. It's got him a little over aggressive at the plate. Here's the wind and the pitch. Hunter drives it foul. Oh and 2. Outside, inside, outside. Does he go back outside? Hunter is just... He is throwing his ace swing, it seems, at everything here. Still 0-2. Weaver winds and fires. Low, good take. Really needed that to be a good take. 1-2. Oh, they don't appeal down. They got him. They have him. They have him. They don't have him ready to swing. He came up into the box ready to swing. 2-2, able to hold it back and stay alive. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is hit to the third baseman. It's right to him, and that is out number 3. The Rockies load the bases. They get a run walked in, but they needed to do more with that situation. 5-2, Canerco, Cabrera, and Flores. As we head to the top of the third. It's a little bit of bad luck there for Torrey Hunter. He hit it right to Alex Rodriguez at third. And not a good start for the pitcher. The lefty throws it low, and it's a ball. 1-0. It is outside for a ball. Here comes the pitch. Inside for a strike. Just gets the outside edge. 2-1. Pitcher winds and fires again. Stays on the outside, gets the corner, and it's 2-2. I think at the moment, with the fact that the Rockies were not able to score a lot, they were only able to get the one run walked in. I think it's imperative that Colorado was able to put up a goose egg here. They gave up 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and the Rockies offense has only been able to muster 1 in the first, 1 in the second. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Marlins maybe go to a reliever. Weaver was kind of falling apart. There's a big swing and a miss. It's not a 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out, but maybe just a touch more patience there for Canerco. That pitch was likely inside. But obviously easy for me to say, sitting here not swinging at it. When I'm sure you'll watch games later this year in MLB The Show 26 going, you swung at that? Don't pull this clip, you know what I mean? The lefty is ready. He'll fire, and it stays just a little high. Maybe he'd get it right at the letters, but might not be in the spot of earning those strikes. Here comes the 1-0. It's low to make it 2-0. That'll be driven foul. Here comes the 2-1. Gets a strike call on the outside. Makes it 2-2. And, ooh, it doesn't get the call low. Does make it 3-2, so a payoff pitch on the way. Thought that might get a strike call at the bottom of the zone, but I was wrong. Here comes the lefty to wind and fire. That'll be hit well out into right center field. That is going to roll all the way to the warning track, and it'll be picked up before it hits the wall. The runner will be in safely at second with a stand-up double. A one-out stand-up double on a full count pitch. Jesus Flores, 0-1. That is low for a ball. Ooh, hits the strike call in that outside corner. Don't know about that one. But we'll leave it up to count at 1-1. Florida looking to push this lead a little bit further. And that looks like it's what they'll do. Might have been a bit of a delayed reaction from second to third. It definitely was. The third baseman making that reach for the ball meant that it held them up just long enough. It's going to give the Colorado Rockies a little bit of life here in this inning. If they can turn a double play, they can avoid an extra run that they have to try and go get. And if they have that 4-run deficit, you really start to look at the bases loaded situation as a failure. I know there were 2 outs, but boy, you can't just walk in a run in that situation. You got to do a little bit more. Walking in a run, great start. Got to get probably 1, maybe 2 more. I thought Torrey Hunter would maybe be a good piece of the puzzle for the Colorado Rockies, but he came out just... He put his home run swing into every one of those pitches. Count is 1-1. Runners on the corners with 1 away. Florida leads 5-2 in the top of the third. Gets maybe a bit of a generous call on the inside. Strike 2. Here's the lefty to wind and fire. Swung on and missed. So, kind of good news for both teams a little bit. The Rockies at least make sure that they just need 1 more out. And I think maybe more importantly, the Marlins only get 1 out instead of hitting into a double play that ends the inning. It'll be up to Muhammad Haney. He's 2 for 2 singles, and he's scored both times. The lefty winds and fires. Haney drives that foul up the third base line. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's inside, but swung on and missed. 0-2. See if we can just rip one right by him. Stay aggressive. And he gets the aggressive swing on a pitch on the outside. Strike number 3. Colorado survives. They put up their first goose egg of the day. And they give themselves a chance. Pena, Reynolds, and Jaso coming up. They're down 3, 5-2 going into the home half of the third. Carlos Pena's 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI today. Here's the wind and the pitch from Weaver. That is a... Oh my goodness. What a start to the inning. A 1-pitch, 1-swing solo home run. But boy, if he were flipped with Torrey Hunter in the lineup, huh? Wow. 404 majestic, no doubt feet. Off the railing in the second deck. So 5-3, Florida. Ooh, okay, it was going to be a strike either way. He was on the inside. 0-1. Here's the righty. Fires inside for a ball. 1-1. And that's low. 2-1. And that's outside. Okay. Weaver kind of falling apart here. I mean, he did issue a walk that drove in a run. He had issued a walk a little earlier in that inning as well. 3-1. I think you have to be a little extra patient. We know that the batters love swinging 3-1 here in this game. And that's what he does. It is a little more over the plate. I think it's in a reasonable enough location. But it is 3-2. And that is fouled away. That's a good defensive swing just to stay alive. And that is hit foul. Stays alive again. Foul ball, sorry. I was a little early on it. My bad. Another payoff pitch on the way. Gets the swing and the miss. That'll do it for Reynolds. I don't think that's the right name. John Jaso comes up 0-1. What was that? I don't know what the name was. It's outside, I think. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm kind of correct. Who knows? That is driven right to the second baseman. He scoops it up clean. Colorado tries to make it interesting, but comes up just a little bit short. Oh, wait. That's only out number 2. That was right. It was a leadoff home run. My bad. My bad. So it's Juan Rivera. A walk and a run. I was like waiting for them to walk off the field. And then they didn't. So the Rockies still have life. Okay, just kidding. One extra pitch of life. That is it. Colorado does try to make it a little interesting. They really needed an extra run or two in that bases loaded situation. I think if you could just get one more hit with Torrey Hunter, it doesn't have to be a home run. Doesn't have to swing the game in their favor necessarily. But if they go into the top of the third down 5-4, or even 5-3, like just something in the grass that scores one from third and probably a run from second. But they weren't able to do that. Hunter may be a little too aggressive there, especially considering that Weaver had already walked in a run and you were just throwing your ace swing at everything. Orlando Cabrera is your player of the game. He had a double and a walk on a 1-for-1 day. Jared Weaver gets the win, improves to 10-2. Aaron Harang falls to 4-7. Pena's 6th home run of the season. One in the first, one in the second, one in the third for the Rockies. But obviously not enough to topple the Marlins. 5-3 your final. And we are ready to maybe speak sentences in a rhythm that isn't annoying. We are going to catch up on some scores. And then we will get you on out of here. Thanks again, everybody, for watching and hanging out. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with a stream in the afternoon. We'll be back with baseball tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time as we continue our way through MLB The Show. All right, sim to date. Mariners win 5-4. Good for them. Let's view today's games. Where were we? Cubs over the Braves 2-1. We won away. I think I already caught up on that. Cardinals over the Giants 1-0. We have the Marlins 5-3 winners over the Rockies. See you, walk-off. Thanks for hanging out. Tigers beat the Athletics 3-0. That's a double win for the Mariners, who win 5-4. and actually record a save. Anybody else record a save? Yeah. Heelman got one for the Orioles. Oh, and one more for Qualls. And that will do it. We'll be back with another 4 games action tomorrow. Like I said, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let's head to save slot number 8 and get this all wrapped up and taken care of. Again, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. I don't normally stream on Saturday, but we got to catch up. And I appreciate everybody being here. Again, if you like the content, give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Free and easy way to help the channel. Subscribing is also a free, easy way to help the channel. And you can press the bell if you'd like to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow. 2 streams tomorrow, so come hang out. We'll let this save, and we will say goodbye. Save complete. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Good night.